Hey guys, what's up? Yeah, I was gonna do this earlier, but I got busy taking down the Christmas decorations and stuff. But I figured I'd get it out to you guys now while I can. Um, we today, it was today, somewhat yesterday. Today, got the official logo, as you probably see here on the screen, for Sonic the Hedgehog 4. The 4, of course, is colored in pink to emphasize that yes, Amy Rose will be part of the movie because, spoiler alert, at the end of the third film, in the mid-credit scenes, she and Metal Sonic do show up. She ends up saving Sonic from Metal Sonic and a group of Metal Sonics. And now the question is, what will her role be? We will obviously find out, but the 4 emphasizes, Amy Rose being part of this. And we did get a release date in the U.S., and that is, of course, going to be, for the movie that is, and that, of course, is going to be March 19th, 2027. And now we also have a rumor going out there, whether or not, and I was listening to 3C Films, Chris there on 3C Films, and he mentioned someone that's supposedly a reliable source saying that this could be the final film, the final Sonic the Hedgehog film, with some spin-offs planned afterwards. Now, Chris did acknowledge to take this with a very, very big grain of salt. There could be truth to that. I'll tell you right now, I don't think there is truth. I don't think there is any real truth about it. I think they're just hearing things. I mean, you got to realize nowadays we're in an environment to where studios and production teams on, let's say, upcoming films, sequels, whatever, will throw a lot of nonsense out there, make it sound like it's true, so that way people can't put on the real detective hats and all that, and figure out, okay, well, if 2027 is the fourth movie, then 2029 or 2030 it's got to be the fifth movie, and 2032 2033 has got to be the sixth movie. They don't want them doing that. They don't want them kind of figuring out, guessing, almost, I wouldn't say exactly, but close to it, as to when the other movies afterwards will come out. Now, it's understandable, though, why they would start this rumor, or hear these kind of, I guess you could say, hearsay, she-say kind of rumors. And that's due to the fact that Jim Carrey, even though he has slated he would like to come back, or if the opportunity and the idea is right, he would like to come back and be Dr. Eggman. Pretty much his character was killed off. At least as Robotnik, he was killed off. So I can understand that being the rumor and everything. And also, I think the reason this rumor got started, we don't know by who and everything. It's just what this person from what Chris at 3C Films said. It could be a possibility. The reason they bring this up is because, okay, where are you going to go from here with the fourth film? It's like, what is the next step? And I think for any of us, if we look at it from a continuity, a storyline perspective, and not kind of emphasization on the characters we want to see, because, if we get characters we want to see, that's going to be great. If we look at the storyline, progressiveness of this series, I think the obvious goal is for Sonic and his crew to get back to his world. I think that's the obvious goal. But again, it is kind of understanding why people would be a little hesitant to kind of think maybe there's going to be more movies after that. But one thing Chris did point out is that in between Sonic 2 and 3, we had the Knuckles series. And there's a potential we're going to get a Shadow series and so on in between now and 2027. So, again, Chris did say you need to take this with a very big grain of salt, because this is just a rumor, and it could have been a rumor that this person picked up on, that somebody threw out there just to get a reaction from people, because people will do that. They will make up stuff going like, ooh, what if we make this sound legit? And make it sound like, and then we'll, they'll do that kind of stuff. They'll go out and make it sound, or try to make it sound legit, so they can see the reaction on people, and then while they see the reaction by people, they can be laughing going, ha ha ha, they fell for it, ha ha ha. That's not a good thing to do, but that's potentially what's going on here. Again, I don't believe this rumor whatsoever, because Jeff Fowler, and I guarantee you, when word gets out about that rumor, Jeff Fowler, he'll be the first to say that no, there is no truth. There is no truth to that rumor, and we're still planning, because he has said it. Sonic 4 is the start. He has acknowledged it. He has basically clued us in on it, that Sonic 4 is going to be the start of a new trilogy. And I think that new trilogy is going to be setting up Sonic and his friends to get back to Sonic's world. That's just my opinion. But again, I understand why people would feel that way, or, and everything, because, one thing that Chris pointed out is that internationally, Mufasa, the Lion King, the prequel to the Lion King movie, is actually, box office-wise, outdoing Sonic 3. I mean, Sonic 3 was on top at first, and now here comes Mufasa. And, sometimes studios do look at that, but I don't think that's going to matter, because in the long run, the last total I heard that Sonic made was in the billions. He hit the billion. Sonic 3 basically just about hit the billionaire mark and joined the billionaire club. That's basically what it is. That's the last thing I heard. So I don't think they're gonna. So I don't think Paramount is going to want to finish up with 4. I mean, it'll be an even number to finish with, but I think they are committed, along with Sega and original film and Jeff Fowler, to get as much as they can, because they know, Jeff Fowler knows, being someone that worked on the Shadow game and in the Sonic franchise himself, game-wise and so on, he knows fans are going to want to see every character that they know of from the games and potentially outside of the games. So I don't think Sonic 4 is going to be the end, no matter what people are saying. And again, I think this person who heard this rumor probably heard a rumor that got made up by trolls, by people that think, oh, you're into Sonic, that's not cool. Those kind of individuals, just so those people can get a reaction out of others. So I'm not believing a word about Sonic 4 being the end, because we've heard otherwise. The other thing too that is really interesting with fans when it comes to Sonic 4 is not only do we got a logo, not only do we got a release date, but people also want to know who would be a good voice for Amy Rose, and a lot of people are pointing out various names of various voice actresses that could do the job. One that's been really on the top of everybody's list is Kimiko Glenn. Kimiko Glenn is known for playing, I think, the lead character in KIF, which is a Disney Channel series. She has provided voice work, I think, for both Has-Been Hotel and Hell of a Boss. And she's most primarily known, if you're a My Little Pony fan, as the Next Generation movie voice of Izzy Moonbo. And she's also known for performing the song Fit Right In, which was Izzy's song in the film. So I could see Kimiko Glenn. I could see Kimiko Glenn being a good voice for Amy. She definitely could bring that style that she brought for Izzy, that she brings for Kif. I think she's bringing in Hell of a Boss and Has-Been Hotel. So I could see her fitting in well as the voice of Amy. On the other hand, people have been wanting Anna Kendrick. Anna Kendrick, of course, known as Poppy in the Trolls franchise, and I think she could be a good choice. Some are even saying, why not get the voice actress that did Amy's voice in Sonic Prime and had a cameo in the first Sonic film as a waitress? And I could see that too. I could see her being a good candidate. But I think if anything, if Amy Rose is going to be voiced by anybody, she's probably. I'm thinking. This is what I'm thinking. With Shadow. With Shadow, they got Keanu Reeves. That's great. But, the reason they got him is because the other voice actor was a little too older. They wanted somebody, that was not too old, but in, kind of like at that right age, if you will, to provide a decent Shadow voice. And Keanu fit that bill. So for Amy, I could see them going with someone like someone like an Anna Kendrick or Kimiko Glenn, But I think honestly they're going to go with the voice actress for Amy from Sonic Prime, from Sonic Prime, and if she's still able to do it, I think she might. I think they might even try to get the Sonic X English dub voice actress as well to come in and do Amy's voice for the film. Because everybody wants that. They want this voice. They want her to have a voice, if you will, that that would fit her and everything. And I think I retweeted. I think I saved it somewhere. Let me see. Okay. So there is something here. Okay, I know somebody was talking about something. Hold on. Let's see. Oh shoot. I'll get into that in a moment. Let's see, let me type it into search. Oh, that's not it. Here you go. This will do it. Let me see. That's not the latest. See. Oh, I didn't type in voice all the way. Here we go. But yeah, basically you got people saying that they want, saying that probably the two most demanded choices, as I mentioned earlier, are Kimiko Glenn and Anna Kendrick. Which again, I have no issue either way. And they even said that, hey, what about Lisa Ortiz, who played Amy in Sonic X? You could bring her in. Yeah, they could do that too. They even say, like I said, the voice actress that did Amy in Sonic Prime and everything, Shanna Khan Kent, she played Amy in Sonic Prime. So yeah, there are some good voices that they could go with for Amy. And you have one person here that says Paramount should fast track Sonic 4 for December and bring Amy Rose into the mix. This is back in December. This was before the movie came out. And of course, you have some voice actor people they want there too. But again, I think if anything, they will go more than likely. As I was saying, as I'm looking this up as I'm recording this, I think they'll go more than likely, the Tails route. They're gonna go and use the voice actress from either Sonic Prime or Sonic X, or even the voice actress for the from the game. But I think they're going to go with maybe one of the two I just mentioned, and I think it'll probably be the more recent voice actress for her, and that being Shanna Khan Kent. I think she will be the voice of Amy Rose. Now, if a hashtag gets started on Twitter and Blue Sky and Truth Social and Facebook and all that, if a hashtag gets started with, something like Kimiko Glenn for Amy Rose, or Anna Kendrick, Amy Rose, or something like that, basically petitioning through social media for one of those two to be the voice, that might give us an idea of who is going to be brought in. Like, that might send a message to Paramount, that might send a message to Jeff Fowler and all of them as to what who fans want, and maybe they can get one of them in there. I mean, fans, when they knew Shadow was coming in Sonic 3, all fans were pointing to Keanu Reeves, and anywhere you went, people were saying Keanu Reeves would be the best voice. Keanu Reeves, and that obviously reached Sega and Original Film and Paramount and mostly Jeff Fowler, and they're like, well, people want Keanu Reeves it is. So who knows? If one of these two ladies, Anna Kendrick or Kimiko Glenn, get enough people behind them, then one of them might end up being the voice. So we could have another Keanu Reeves situation on our hands when it comes to Amy Rose, but we shall see. Another interesting factor about this too is people are wondering whether or not they will do something that, basically Sega has been kind of, against, if you will, in the past when it comes to Amy and Sonic. Even though they have been a little bit more lenient with projects based on the game, people are wondering whether or not basically they might have Sonic and Amy fall in love. Now, I'm not saying that won't be something they won't try doing and everything, because they could, as some people suggested, go off of Sonic, go off the idea of Sonic seeing the, the love that Tom and Maddie have for each other, and could say getting tongue tied here, and could think to himself, man, I would like to have that kind of love too, and then here you have Amy Rose, right there, perfect, perfect opportunity, if you will. But we're gonna see. We'll see what they do. If they allow, if it does happen, then hey, it shows that Sega has basically come out and said, look, our hands are off this thing. You can do what you want with these two, as long as it doesn't reflect, the games, because that's the one issue. It's like you can make a relationship happen, but it can't reflect what takes place in the game continuity. So you never know. You never know. It might occur. It might happen. But, it's up to what the story's going to be like and how, potentially we get there in the story. Now, is there a chance that they could hint at something, beyond friendship between Amy and Sonic? Absolutely. They can hint at it, but they wouldn't go. But they don't have to go anywhere with it. But they can hint at an attraction, maybe a little flirtation, and then maybe come the 5th movie, maybe the 6th movie, they could decide to go full throttle with it if that's what they decide to do. But again, it's up to them, so we'll see. I have no issue with it whatsoever, because like I've talked about before, when I watched Sonic X, believe it or not, I liked the dynamic between Sonic and Amy in that one. I thought they presented Amy very well. And especially in the 3rd season, they presented her in a way where she was still infatuated with Sonic, but she was kind of growing as a character, and she was realizing that the only way she's going to prove herself to Sonic, like, hey, we are meant to be an item, or at least we could start something, is to kind of show that she's willing to do things that he would to save him, if not the world. And she did that. She did that in the season 3. So I like that. So I liked the dynamics, what I'm trying to say. I like the dynamic in Sonic X. And I kind of like the idea that they kind of carry that a little bit into Sonic Boom. You can see that there is a little of attraction, flirtation, but nothing totally committed. I like that. And you can kind of see it, in Sonic Prime a little bit. Amy is a little bit more like a Sally-like character. And I know people might have a field day with that, but let's put that aside. But like I was saying, you can kind of see that dynamic a little bit as well. And then even in IDW, you see it as well. Even most recently, as Wolfie Sonic, I think that's his name. Let me double check on that user. Hold on. Oh yeah, Werewolf, the Werewolf, SJ Wolfie. SJ Wolfie said, SG Wolfie, not SJ. What am I saying? SG Wolfie said, and I think in his review of the recent issue, that she's still obviously attracted, still, enamored and, and kind of like a little, lovey-dovey with Sonic. But I like the idea that they kind of toned it down, and the dynamic is perfect. The dynamic is perfect. In the comic as well, to where you see the attraction, you see that something's there, but they're not going full throttle with it, except for a few moments, like as SG Wolfie mentioned in his review of Sonic 75. But again, if they decide to do it, that's fine. That's not an issue I have whatsoever. I don't have an issue with that, period. I think if they want to do it, go ahead and do it. It's that's up to them. I mean, I know a lot of fans would rather them wait until maybe the potential of getting characters outside of the game, like the Freedom Fighters and Tangle and Whisper and so on, into the movies or into the cinematic universe somehow, and then maybe doing something with Sonic and Sally. I understand that too. I would like to see that. That would be thinking outside the box, but I'm not in Jeff Fowler's shoes. I'm not the guy writing the scripts, directing, or anything like that. I have no clue, what they got planned. But would I like to see something like that? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But again, I'm not them. So I don't know whether or not they're going to be planning to do something like that in the future, or if they're just going to stick with the basics, for these next 3 movies. And whatever Paramount Plus series spin off from it to continue with, or to kind of coincide within the same storyline and continuity as the films. We'll see. But yeah, some people are, already pitching ideas for Sonic and Amy, Sonic and Amy to have a dance scene, some kind of dance scene in the film with some kind of romantic song playing in the background. One person even suggested "Perfect" by Ed Sheeran. So we'll see what they do and everything. But again, I wouldn't be against it, because like I said, I like the dynamic that was put together in Sonic X. I enjoyed the dynamic in Sonic Boom. The dynamic is perfect, in Sonic Prime. Very SatAM reminisce, if you will. Again, that's another story for another day. And the IDW one, I like that as well, because again, Amy's going to have her moments, to kind of remind people, yeah, this is how she always has been, or always had been with Sonic. But, she's kind of grown out of that and matured, but she's still going to have her moments. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to Sonic 4. I mean, if we're already speculating as to, like, is there going to be any romantic dynamic with Sonic and Amy in the film? That's a great sign. If we're already speculating the potential of a romantic scene between them, dance scene, whatever, that's a good sign, with a song in the background and guessing what kind of song that will be. That's a good sign. So I like it. So I like it overall, and the biggest excitement I get out of this, speculation wise, is, in petitioning wise, is, who would be the voice actors for Amy in the film? Will they go with Shannon Carr Kent, the voice of Amy in Prime, or Lisa Ortiz, the voice of her in X, or will they go with someone like Kimiko Glenn or Anna Kendrick? It's great speculation, because I think they all would be good choices. And if already people are, hashtagging and petitioning for either Kimiko or Anna to get the role, we could, like I said, be looking at another Keanu Reeves situation going into the movie. But what are your guys' thoughts on? What are your thoughts on the March 19th, 2027 release date for the film? Do you think it will stay with that date? And what are your thoughts on this rumor that I doubt is true about the 4th film being the final film? Because again, I doubt it's true. I think it was something that this reliable source that Chris of 3C Films talked about probably picked up on, but probably is not realizing, or has realized, that it was nothing but a troll job, done by people that just want to see people react, for funsies. What are your thoughts on that? Who do you think will be the voice actress? Do you think they might stay the course and do what they did with Tails and just bring in an established voice actress, for Amy, like Shannon Carr Kent, and Shannon Carr Kent, or Lisa Ortiz? Or do you think they might go Kimiko Glenn or Anna Kendrick? And if they go with the other two, who do you think is more than likely to get that opportunity? Let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And do you think they might decide to go the romantic route with them, or at least maybe hint at it in the film, and if hinting at it, build towards it over the course of the next few films going forward? Or do you think they might go full throttle with it? And do you think maybe, as some fans are speculating, we might get a dance scene between them that kind of, starts that fire between them, that passionate romantic fire between them, to get the ball rolling? And do you think maybe, a song like "Perfect" by Ed Sheeran or whatever could be playing in the background? Let me know. Let me know your thoughts on all this. Love to hear what you have to say on it. But until next time, guys, do me a favor, like the video, ring the bell for notifications, subscribe to the channel, click on the links in the description to find me at all your favorite audio and video podcast affiliates like iTunes, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Audible, Spotify, Radio Public, you name it. If it has a listing of podcast or a podcast only environment, you can probably most definitely find me in one of those, along with the ones I mentioned. Also, check me out at rumble.com at BWRoses. Check me out at odyssey.com at BWRoses. VENMO.com at BWRoses. I'm also on Patreon if you want to help support me there. Also, check me out at divanart.com at BVW1979 and at inkbunny.net at BWRoses. Also, check out the Teespring store for merchandise you can't get anywhere else. And check me out, find me over at twitter.com at BWRoses and Blue Sky. But guys, again, let me know what your thoughts are. I'd love to hear how you feel about this. And until next time, you all have a good evening. And I am